Good evening, everybody. Attorney Greg Lake here. Welcome to the Entheogenic Esquire YouTube channel and podcast. As promised today on my live stream, I'm dropping in now, and I'm going to drop links to two videos. Okay, so this is going to be Katie Johnson, which is the pseudonym for a CSA alleged victim of President Trump. Okay, so these are two videos that were allegedly taken of her in and around the time that she had filed a lawsuit in 2016 prior to the November election. Now, I have learned that Ms. Johnson actually filed three lawsuits total. Two of them were pro se on her own behalf. Both of those got dismissed, and I'm going to do further research on this, so I'm just basically reporting what I understand right now. But those two lawsuits were dismissed due to fundamental procedural errors, which is very common in federal court, especially with people filing lawsuits on their own behalf. Now, a third lawsuit was filed later in 2016 before the election, and at this time, there was actually a group of, from what I understand, pretty distinguished and respected attorneys who had employed significant resources, including private investigators, to basically do the legwork, question this lady, question the other witnesses. And from what I understand, I will look and confirm and report back, but there were also three affidavits that were filed along with this third lawsuit, basically substantiating, to the extent that the affidavits did, the allegations in the complaint. So it's very interesting, right? Because we do have the angle that, hey, these allegations were brought before the election, and so it can be viewed through that lens as an intentional, way to try to throw that 2016 election off. As I've stated before on my live streams, I've watched this lady's videos. Just me watching her as a witness, I tend to believe what she's saying. Again, we're going to do more live streams, and we're definitely going to be talking about this a lot more. I'm in the process of doing a much deeper investigation. I'm just letting you know my initial thoughts is that I'm tending to believe this girl, and I have to admit as well that the more and more that we see revealed through the Epstein files seems to corroborate the MO of Epstein, and to the extent we can assume if Trump was also involved to this degree, would also be indicative of behavior that President Trump would also probably display in these types of situations, okay? And so again, I don't want to come here and tell you, hey, you need to believe this girl is true. I want you to formulate your own opinion. One thing I will do is I'm also going to drop a link to a podcast from a gentleman who claims to be the private investigator hired by one of the attorneys who helped file that third lawsuit. I encourage you, if you get a chance, to listen to him, because he certainly believes her. He did the private investigation work. While he is currently under a non-disclosure agreement with the attorney, he can't disclose absolutely everything that he discovered, but he does say that both him and all the decorated attorneys who were working on this case on behalf of Mrs. Johnson definitely believed her case here. And last thing I'll say is that there was supposed to be a press conference November 2nd after the third successful lawsuit was filed. And apparently, and I'm really going to be looking into this, apparently there were threats. Apparently there was going to be a live stream service that got shut down by bot attacks. And so a lot of funny business going on. And, everything from the, setup of the sexual behavior to the threats and intimidation seem to be fitting an MO that we see between Epstein and, by inference in some degree, and we'll talk about this later, Trump. And so I wanted to leave you with the links to these videos. To be honest, they're kind of graphic, and I didn't want to overtly play them on my channel. I might change my mind, and we very well might do that later when I get OBS hooked up to my live stream. Perhaps if y'all want to, we can watch them together and go through them. I'm going to continue my investigation on this. I wanted to drop this video and these links with you. If you get a chance, check it out. We will be discussing it at length at a later date. So thank y'all very much. Thank you for everybody who's on the live stream today. I'll be back tomorrow talking about Tyler Robinson and the media issue in the case. So just want to drop this. Hope y'all have a beautiful evening. Very grateful that y'all were able to join me here, and much love. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.